All right, so we are live now at 10 a.m. In Vietnam. I hope everyone has had a chance to think about the time change, 1 hour difference when the clocks were set back or set ahead, fall back in the fall. All right, let's quickly go through the disclaimer. We're going to go through it this way. The following videos, clips, demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Tradedictive provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating a method of using the product. Users understand that all the content used in the video is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide and does not provide any indication of prediction or actual results. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through the demonstrations do not indicate in any way the results you may receive by using the products. All right, so let's go ahead. It is just after 10 a.m. in Vietnam. I'm streaming to you live from Bien Hoa City in Dong Nai Province, Vietnam, from the Pegasus Plaza. And this is Nailing FX. It's about 4 a.m. in London, UK, and because of the daylight savings time fall back 1 hour, it's 10 p.m. Tuesday night on the East Coast of the US. So let's get into Spot Forex Trading Simplified. All right, here is the November schedule. You can see here today, Wednesday the 4th, we are on FX Street. Next week, it's not correct. Next week, we will be on YouTube. So this should say YouTube here. Sorry, I didn't correct it. So next Wednesday, the 11th on YouTube. Then the following Wednesday, FX Street again, then YouTube. And then I think it's going to be FX Street again. But we don't know for sure. In any case, I'll show you later in a little bit how to make sure that you always are up to date with the schedule by going to www.tradingwithufos.com/OPA, and we'll take a look at that in a bit. All right, in today's session of Nailing FX, the Nailing FX series, first thing we're going to do is we're going to review the trade we put on last week. We'll review the 28th October trade, and talk a little bit about being wrong and right simultaneously. How many times has that happened to you? You were right on the overall direction, but got stopped out before you could catch the move. So we'll take a look at that. And of course, we'll be using the Zebra 33 and 48 indicators, along with the Zebra 62.65 indicator, and correlating that with TradingView. Then we'll go into hunting for some potential trades. All right, so here is last week's trade. Let's see if we have anybody not in yet. I think the time change may have perplexed a few people. So let's take a look here. Last Wednesday on the 28th, you can see my local time just after the session finished. I said I was going to set up this trade, and I did. You can see here, and let me, think I have a magnifying glass. There it is. All right, so here you can see that what I did was put on the trade. It was a sell limit at this price, 1.30378, with a stop loss at 1.30457 and a take profit of 1.30240. Okay, and that was that current price at the time. All right, so let's get back to, how do I get back? There we go. All right, so here's what the chart looked like, and this is again a 15-minute chart. Now, we did the 15-minute chart, we put on the trade because several of you folks out there wanted more trades rather than the hourly and daily trades where you had to wait a long time. Yeah, putting on short-term trades gives you more trades, but doesn't necessarily correlate with more success. You'll see that in a minute. All right, so here is the trade. Here you can see this dotted line, or dotted dashed line up here. That was the stop loss. Here was the entry. It was a limit entry, so we expected price to move back up, take us in, and then drop down to our target down here into the lower band of the 33 channel. And here we got correlation with TradingView. You can see we were just below the unfilled orders zone right here. And okay, so it was a good idea to go ahead and get that up there and then come down here to try to get, you know, this gain. All right, so what happened? Well, Wednesday, the same day, later on in the afternoon, I checked the chart, and it did exactly what I had anticipated. Price did go up and take us in, but then what did it do? It continued to go up, 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 going up into the upper band of the channel, turn around and come down and ultimately hit our target. So you can see what happened here also in TradingView. So things, we were right in terms of our analysis. I was right in terms of the analysis. I was wrong in terms of putting on the trade and not anticipating that it would go that high. Lesson learned, remember, we were trading in the middle of the channel, We have far better results, not only in the hourly and daily when we are trading out of high or low bands, than when we are trying to grab a trade in the middle of the channel. Because, well, if you look at history, you'll see that price tends to want to cycle between the bands. All right, so this is why I said back at the beginning, go back here, being wrong and right simultaneously. Well, being wrong is wrong. Being right, as hindsight, it doesn't pay, right? So we had a loss. We had an 8 pip loss, was a tight 8 pip loss. Again, a lot of people want to trade lower time frames because you can trade with lower stop losses, but that lower stop loss oftentimes will get hit. And we were looking for about a 2-to-1, a little less than 2-to-1 with a 14 pip take profit. You can see it here, okay? However, when we do the hourly or especially the daily, what we're looking for there is a move of 30 to 50 pips plus, okay? So yes, we will have higher stop losses, bigger stop losses, but the way the charts seem to work, historically, looking back at the charts, is that we are getting much better results, okay? So that was the review there. So let's go ahead and move on and see if we can start to look for some trades. We'll hunt for some trades. But before we go into the hunting of trades, I just wanted to give you a little bit of heads up here. And you know that we never tell you what to trade, okay? That's the disclaimer. We are here to educate you on how systems work and how the indicators work and how you can use them to help you make your own decisions. So there are some links that you can follow. Here are, you can look for the Nailing FX sessions and the trading tools, and you can find them by subscribing to www.tradewithufos.com/OPA. And what I will do right now is I am going to put that information or a lot of that information into the chat. Okay, I'm pasting that into the chat right now, and there you have it. Okay, so you can go back and look at the chat, and you have the links in there. Now, I do want to go ahead and let's see if we can escape here. All right, let's go to end show and close this and bring up somewhere in here this one. Okay, here's where you go. Here's where you'll go when you want to sign up for free membership. Get your free membership with Trade with UFOs. Put your full name in there. Okay, first name, last name, your email address, critical. Say that you're not a robot, and then click for the next steps. If you've been watching the introduction video, you've seen that. Now, the nice thing about this is that once you've signed up, you can go down here, put in your email address, probably a little bit easier than username because maybe you use a different name or whatever, and the password that you created, you can remember. And then what you can do is, once you fill that out, you can type in your questions. If you have questions about what I have talked about during the session, you'll be able to type in questions, and then those questions will show up later on in the Q&A area where you can go back and refer. And so you can look at the Q&A area. So it's a real good idea to go ahead and get your free membership and get in. Beyond that, if you would like some coaching, I can do the coaching, or you can have one of the other instructors do coaching. There is an opportunity for you to do coaching. So you can click on coaching with me, or you can click on a selection of coaches. All right. So, of course, that's a paid service, and you'll go into this and decide how you'd like to use it. All right. So now let's go ahead and bring up the chart here. All right. So what are we looking at? We're looking at the Euro USD daily chart here. And what indicators are on this chart? Okay, I call it the Z for zebra basic light chart. This is a template that I created. All right, so let's take a quick look and see the indicators that are here. We have the zebra spread. We're always interested in the spread. You see, I'm using raw data from my broker, from the broker here for this account. So it's 7 points, the 6 points. That's 0.6 of a pip. Of course, if I trade here, I'm going to pay a commission. I'm including the zebra channel. That's what you see here, the basic channel for this time frame. There are other settings that can be used so we can have multiple time frames. The 48 alert and confirmation, those are the arrows pointing down or the green arrows pointing up. And you see this little kind of ball with an arrow in it that follows the this alert. This is the confirmation, and once you've got an alert and a confirmation, on a daily chart, which this is, it's a very high probability that price is going to move at least 30 to 50 pips, if not even further, especially if it's in either the upper band like it is here or the lower band like it is down in here. Okay, so if you look at this combination of indicators, we have the channel dot, which means that price has started to trade. You can see way back here, price started to trade in the upper band, and then it fell out of the upper band, traded below, came back and started trading in the upper band, dropped below, turned up, trading in the upper band. And it's very likely also that at many of these points, you might have had an alert, okay? So you have to wait. Now, using the 62, 65 profile, I put on a simple profile here. You see the blue looks like a moving average, and the magenta, the light blue and the magenta, well, they, along with the channel trend, what we see is a channel trend, helps us to determine if it's a good time to jump in, okay? And so what we see here is that the alert came in, the confirmation came in, it came in after we were trading into the upper zone, okay? And let's see here, I've got someone that came in here. Billy, thanks for coming in. Glad you could make it. Hope you didn't get too confused with the time frame changes. So here we are. We are looking at this, okay? And so now we've got a high confidence level based on simultaneous indicators that we should be go ahead and looking for a move to the downside. Let me go ahead and open this up a little bit. Where's my plus here? Here it is. All right, so here we can see again a little bit more information, okay, or the same information, but now you can see that we had the alert in one of the very, very early sessions. We talked about an alert and had no channel, had no SET inside here. We only had alert and the alert confirmation. Okay. At the very beginning, we had the alert, and I didn't even have a confirmation indication. We had to look at it and see that we got to close below the low of the alert for a down move. Now it comes in and shows. And so this, again, you can take the trade very quickly here. In some cases, if you are more aggressive as a trader, once you have a channel dot here, or in this case a red channel dot, as soon as you get an alert, you could take the risk of entering into the trade with your stop above. So had you done that, you would have had about 135 pip stop. Now you're saying, whoa, wow, 135 pip stop. That's a big stop. Yeah, it is, but you're trading on a daily chart. And remember, you're going to be looking at least a 1-to-1 risk reward, right? But since it's trading up here in this band, we're going to anticipate that price, because of the way it's set up here, is going to go ahead and probably enter into the middle band, if not beyond it, which it did do here, okay? So yes, that would have been a 135 pip stop. If you waited for the confirmation, obviously your, whoops, getting this lined up here, obviously your stop increases. Now we have about 170 pip stop. And if you wait for price to close under the profile, the two profile moving averages here, now you're going to be looking at a 245, 250 pip stop. Where did price go? Price went to 400. So you've got almost 500. And so you've got a good 2 to 1. And you say, well, putting on a 200 pip stop, my account, I've only got $1,000 in my account. I only got $2,000. Sure, you can still do it, but you're going to have to trade a micro or 2 micros, not try to trade a mini or a standard. Okay, that's just not going to work for you. Okay, but you're going to get the experience. That's what's important. You get the experience of how to trade and how to identify these moves. Simultaneous. All right, so we saw that up here. Let's go ahead and go down here and look down below. And again, we got price trading into the lower band, which gave us the channel dot, right? Immediately following the channel dot, or very close thereafter, we got an alert. Okay, so some people will say, okay, that's good enough for me. I am going to take the trade and put my stop either below the alert arrow or down below, just below the dot. Okay, either one. Okay, now other people will say, you know what, I'm not going to be that aggressive. I'm going to wait for more information. I'm going to wait for a confirmation of the alert. Well, that confirmation came in here. And simultaneously with that confirmation, we also got an SET. Those are the arrows that point to the right. Okay, so this SET arrow is saying price is likely to go up. If price comes back down, it's going to you want to be stopped out at the arrow, just below the arrow, or reverse your position and take it short. So there's a big range in terms of where you're going to enter this trade, all right? And if you enter at the confirmation, your stop is going to be below the confirmation dot. That's with 110 pips, or down below the SET arrow, which is 160 pips, or down below here, 190 pips, down to 230 pips. Price goes up here over 300 pips. Now this is a daily chart. So you're going to have to sit with this for a while. It shows 15 days before price goes up here to 300. Okay, 15 days. Along the way, once you've entered, even if you've entered here, you know, the next day you're already up 30 pips. Following day, you're already up 90 to 100 pips. At that point, it makes no sense to leave your stop down here. You have to manage that position and at least go to a free trade. So if you're up 100 pips over a couple of days, lock in 20, 25, still good enough, right? Or take the 100, take the 100 and say, thanks very much, okay? And as price moves in your direction, you would want to continue to manually go ahead and adjust your stop. You might do what's called a two period look back. So if you're at a particular period, you go back 2 periods and put your stop below the low of the lowest of the last 2 periods, and just keep moving it up, and you would have got stopped out somewhere up in here, and worst case scenario, you made 88 pips compared to having been able to make more, 130, again, depending on where you go in, right? So that's, again, an overview of how to read this. And I think the best thing to do is for us to focus on the bigger time frames, because, as I said earlier, the smaller time frames, you're looking at smaller stop losses, yes, but you're also looking at smaller profits, okay? And you get a higher likelihood that you're going to be stopped out, even though you have a bigger loss or a bigger stop. You have to understand how that works. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to get out of the default window here and see if I can go what comes up with market overview. All right, so market overview looks like this is the default here. Let's try Think Forex. We have an alert here. Okay, I had to change platforms simply because the platform that I normally use, Axie, just wasn't working. So let's go ahead and we'll just walk through the Ozzy crosses. Let's see, we got Ozzy crosses here on this platform. It should come up with 6. All right. All right, so let me go ahead and bring this up and change this. This is some older testing. My template, I'm going to go to the Z Basic Light, which is what we were looking at. All right, so easy. This is a 5-minute. Let's go and look at the daily. All right, so here we have yesterday, the day before, okay, everything basically lining up. We've got the dot, we've got the alert. Let me make it a little bigger so we can look at it, okay. Now, yesterday, we had this alert, or excuse me, we had the dot price here. Last time we talked about putting on the trend based on the SET arrows. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can put the trend on here. All right. So right now it is below the close of yesterday. We don't have the best situation here, okay? But I can look back a little bit and take a look here. What is my channel trend doing? My channel trend is coming down, okay? So I've got to consider that as more pressure, more strength to the downside. And you can see here that price, if we had been able to grab it at the close yesterday or early today, it would have already moved 40 pips in our favor, went down against us about 60 pips. Our stop, having entered at the close, would be 100 and about 125. I always round them up, round them around. Well, it looks like it wants to go up. All right, it looks like it wants to go up from this low down in here. But again, do I have enough confirmation? Am I satisfied? I know the trend is trending down. So let's take a look. So now we back off from the daily and go down to the 4 hour. All right. What's happened on the 4 hour? Well, on the 4 hour, price has already done what? Come up and traverse the entire channel. Okay. You can see here, it's basically saying it wants to go down. It wants to go down from here. All right, so let's take a look at the hourly. All right, the hourly is telling me that same thing, that price actually wants to go down. And here's that trend from the daily, the uptrend from the daily. Okay, so price wants to go down here. It may be wanting to go up. So let's go down to the 15 and see what it says. The 15 is tracking to the upside. Okay, 15 is tracking to the upside. So this down in here looks like it might have been a good entry at that point. Okay, a good entry at that point. And so I'm going to say, even though we have some things going on, looking at the daily chart, the daily does indicate that it does want to go to the upside here. Okay, so if I were to consider trading this particular currency pair, which is the Aussie Canadian, I would be going long on that. I'm not going to take this trade simply because, again, I don't like to take trades in the middle of the channel. I would much prefer taking the trades in the bands. Okay, so I have very good patience. It doesn't take a long time to go through. So let's take a look at the Aussie Swiss, and again, go to the template, basic light, open it up, and what do we see? Basically, we see trending down. Price came up, went into the upper band, turned around, and is coming back down. All right. So again, it would have been nice if we would have caught that. And that's a 5-minute chart. Sorry for that. Let's make sure we got the right one. Daily looks pretty much the same as the Aussie CAD. Let's go ahead and put on the template. Light template and go to our daily. Okay, here we can see that a couple of days ago, last week, okay, towards the end of the week, we had a nice setup here. Okay, we got the channel dot coming down, so we know that even though price is kind of, it's not a very steep down move. Okay, and here we see that, okay, that would have been a buy if we were aggressive, took that there. If we waited for the confirmation, we're actually way up here in the middle of the channel already, and so that's not a really good place to be trying to take a trade when the channel is actually going down. Let's look at the Aussie Kiwi template light. Sorry, I have to change these templates on the fly. As I said, my Axie platform just wasn't cooperating this morning. All right, again, nice setup here, really nice setup here, very deep into the channel. We've got the dots on the channel, all right, on the outside of the channel. Followed not too, as you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 periods later by an alert, which was confirmed not by the alert confirmation, but by the SET indicator. So again, if you're an aggressive trader, you would be looking at entering the close here and having a stop down below here, about a 50 pip stop, and you're already beyond a 1-to-1 in 2 days time frame. And so again, moving your stop up, locking in a free trade at 25 pips or so. Nothing wrong with that. Don't cry over spilt milk. Say woulda, coulda, shoulda. Never is going to help you. It's going to always give you anxiety and stress. All right, so let's take a look here. Now we're looking at the Euro Aussie on the daily chart. Bring this up here. Again, you can see what's happened here. Everything that we talked about, simultaneous actions here on this. This is where, again, a more aggressive trader would have an 80 pip stop, looking for 80 pips. You're already at 100. But again, because you're entering up here in that band, that upper band, okay, you can anticipate the price should go down into and beyond the center band. And so that 80 pip stop, you can see here, that was a 400 pip move over the course of 7 or 8 days. Okay? And it's still moving to the downside, still moving to the downside. Okay. All right. And finally, the pound Aussie. Let's take a look at pound Aussie. Where we're looking at the daily chart. All right, so here's pound Aussie. Again, price had traded up into the upper band, and how you want to take this information. All right, let's take a look here. Can't see the top of the channel. There it is, right there. All right. All right, so those are the Aussie crosses. Now let's go ahead and let's take a look at, see if I can find pound crosses. Let's take a look at the pound crosses here. I'm trying to find my majors. I don't see the majors on this list. Let's see. Let's get some more. Okay, here's major crosses. Okay, here's major crosses. So let's go ahead and go to the major crosses. Something a little bit weird going on here. Now, okay, all right. So again, let's go to template on the light side. Here, these aren't the major crosses, I'm sorry, zebra major crosses, but these are crosses of all of the pairs. So let's go ahead and run through them real quickly. They show daily. Yesterday, so we're looking at this close, right? Close here. And so this is still a good entry right here because we had the close. It's not down in the lower band, it's up in the middle. So let's go to the next one. And go to the template, basic light. Again, nothing here. Daily. Okay, nothing here. You can see here, just a couple of days ago, well, last week, we had opportunities to take some good trades. And I make no apologies for the fact that we don't have trades. I mean, the trades were there. It's just that we're not looking at them at the time where the trades show up. So you have to be disciplined enough to take a look at each chart, all the charts, every day to determine, as I do, if there is an opportunity to take a trade. If there is an opportunity to take a trade, as again, as you see here, there was right down in here, okay, trade moved into the, and then it pulled out of the band. Nice different setup right here. That already resulted in 130 some odd pips. And getting in at that level at an 80 pips. So better than, definitely better than 1-to-1. And again, you're not going to leave that big stop loss, right? You'd be foolish to leave the big stop loss, even though price will come back and take you out and you'll only get a small return, but a small return is better than a loss, right? I think so. So here's what we're looking at. I'm just going, as I'm speaking, I'm going through all of these charts looking for the possibility of a trade. Quickly, I'm just looking at the end on the daily, and to see if there is a possibility for a trade. Now this situation here, you open this up, this is the Euro Aussie, okay? And I've got an alert, but it's up in the middle of the channel, okay? It's up in the middle of the channel. My profile indicates to me that price is likely to continue to go down. So there is a possibility that sometime in the near future, several days from now, price will come down into this channel down below here. If I can get this to see down here, price come into this channel down below here and give us an opportunity to take a long trade. It's not there now. So what do? We just move on looking for possible trading opportunities. Okay. Similar here, Euro CAD, little bit deeper, not into the lower band yet. Okay, here Euro Swiss. So basically, what I'm doing is going through almost every currency pair here, as time permits, for an opportunity to take a trade. And you can see it doesn't take that long. It doesn't take that long, especially it's taking me a little longer now because, like I said, I had to change my platform because my regular platform that I usually use was not reliable. It gave me some problems, so I had to quickly bring up another platform. Now, why did, there we go. All right. Okay. And as you get better, now this might have something here. Let's take a look. Again, a lot of data coming in here. So the cache is getting filled with data, and it's creating a problem for the platform here. There we go. Basic light. You can see I'm looking at all. Move this over here. All these pairs. Okay. And yeah, we're just getting a data glut now. So normally what I would do with something like this is I would refresh. Let's do that. And refresh. See if that will speed things up a little bit. It does. All right, there we go. So it's taking some time. This is going to get bogged down here. I'm not going to continue to do this. What I'm going to do is bring this down, and let's take a look at what's happening on the trading view chart. We'll start with the Euro USD, and we're looking at the 1 hour here. I'm going to change that to a daily. All right, so there we go. So basically what we're looking at here on the daily chart is, again, here's the profile. I don't have all the same information, but this profile is the same as the MT4. Okay, these are the auto phase, same as the alerts. No alert confirmations, but I know how to determine an alert confirmation. So this is saying that price wants to go up. I've got price moving in here. We have the auto climate telling me that we're in, I believe it's the 6th period out of 5. So we're beyond that. It wouldn't surprise me to see price, again, based on the profile, to continue to come down and maybe come into here before it turns around and wants to go back up. All right. So That's the Euro USD, very popular currency pair to trade. Here, let's move this around. What do we see here? Price has been coming down, down, down. Here, price, again, is in its 10th period to the downside out of a projection of 6. So it's already gone pretty far. The profile is showing that it's kind of pulling back, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this come up into the zone here. And if I look to the left, looks horizontally over to the left of the actual UFO here, this little flying saucer right here, I can see that here's probably where there are a lot of unfilled orders, because price took off with a lot of strength to the downside here. So price coming back up into this area here for unfilled orders would be a trade. I'd like to see this turn blue so that it confirms the movement to the upside. Okay, and so I would put on a here. If I'm looking at this, I'd have to go back and look at my MT4, but this looks like it would be a limit sell at about 105,500, which is nice because that is a hard number right there. So that would be a good hard number to put that on. Where would my stop be? My stop would be up here at 105, maybe 800 or 750. A little bit tight there, 750. Put it right up in here at the 800. 800 is somewhere just beyond there, 800. Looking for what? Looking for something down below here which doesn't show up. Okay, there's nothing to target, so I would again go to a 1-to-1 on this initially. All right, let's go ahead and go into the Aussie US and take a look at the Aussie US. We move this down here so we can see. Aussie US is now in its first period of a upward move. We see this the big blue dot here in the auto climate, and it could go up about 5 periods. So 5 periods going up into this zone, up in here into this zone, would not be surprising. And then where would it go from there? Looks like it has a lot of room to come way down here. Again, we're looking at a daily chart, okay, daily chart. So it could take some time to come down here, but that would be a pretty significant move. So let's go ahead and just measure on the Aussie US. If we entered here, that would be a 565 pip move, and we would be looking at about a 120 pip stop. So that would be a big setup for you here. All right, so let's go ahead. Time is running out. Go down to the US Swiss, and gotta get rid of all these old lines here. All right, so what's the situation here on the daily chart? Again, we're looking at price right now just entered into the first period of a down move. So there's nothing really happening here in the US Swiss based on daily. Pound US, pound. Here we have some opportunities in the daily. Again, coming up here, I wouldn't be surprised to see price come up into this area just above here and come down somewhere down into here. Okay. So that, just looking at this, but again, I'm just contemplating on the trading view charts here. We would have to do the good full analysis, take a look at everything. Here we have the US CAD. This looks like a pretty good trade potential right here, where we're seeing price rising. We could see it rise into this zone. Let's measure and see what we've got here. If we put it in at the entry at this flat period right here, this flat cross here, that's a good place. And I measure the stop. The stop would be about 85 pips for a potential of 400 pips. Okay, so that's a pretty good setup here. It would be interesting to take a look at that trade. So that's an Ozzy CAD. You need to go ahead and do your own analysis, take a look and see what happens there. Let me see if I can finish this off real quick. Kiwi USD. All right. Kiwi USD looks similar. Excuse me, looks similar. Going up here, going short, and then coming down. I always take a look at the US Singapore dollar, and this usually runs fairly flat, and it'll oscillate between those levels, as you can see in the past. So nothing to really go ahead and jump on. Not unusual. Take some time, go through, look at the different currency pairs, and do a good analysis before you jump in. And I would strongly recommend looking at least the daily with the higher stop losses. Remember, go ahead and sign up for your free membership at www.tradewithufos.com/OPA, and go ahead and send me questions. If you want one-to-one training, that's also available. So that's it for today. Have a great weekend and good trading, everyone.